Zachary Atha, Zachary Atha.
And Officer Atha, are you currently working for APD?
I do.
How long have you been with APD?
Just over 11 years.
I want to direct your attention to January 2015. What zone did you work for APD in January of 2015?
3.
And how long had you worked in Zone 3?
Less than a year.
I want to direct your attention specifically to January 22nd, 2015. Did you have the occasion to respond to 1007 Hill Street in Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes.
And why did you respond to that location?
The house at the location had been shot at.
Okay. And I see you looking down at something. Are you looking at your report?
I am.
Okay. If for any reason I ask you a question and you need to refresh your memory, just let me know.
Okay.
And just read it to yourself and let me know when your memory is refreshed. Okay. When you responded to that location, what did you do when you first arrived?
May I check my report?
Sure.
When I first arrived, I spoke with the victim, Miss Frida Reed.
Okay. And was she able to provide you any information when you spoke with her?
May I check my report?
Sure.
Thank you. She advised that she heard gunshots coming from the street and that multiple bullets had hit her home.
Okay. And was she able to tell you if she saw any vehicles or, excuse me, was she able to tell you if she looked out the window after hearing gunfire?
I'm not sure if it was her or the neighbor that mentioned seeing a Dodge Charger.
So if you can look back at your report to the first paragraph and see if you see if Ms. Reed specifically told you.
Withdraw that objection.
All right.
She stated that Ms. Reed stated that she saw a late model black Dodge Charger.
All right. And was she able to tell you the direction of travel of that black Dodge Charger?
Southbound on Hill Street.
Okay. And did she say if they were speeding, taking their time? Did she give any description?
Speeding.
All right. And did you make any observations yourself once you looked at the home?
In regards to what?
Did you see any bullet holes?
Yes.
All right. How many?
I do not remember.
Okay. Did you notate it in your police report?
It's possible. I can check it.
Sure.
My report indicates that I observed 6 bullet holes on the front of the house.
Okay. And did you speak with any other individuals when you were out there?
I did. I spoke to one of the neighbors.
Okay. And in speaking with both Ms. Reed and the neighbor, how soon after your arrival on scene would you have spoken with the neighbor?
It would have been relatively soon after my arrival.
And when you say relatively soon, are we talking about within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of your arrival?
I'd say probably within 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. And when you spoke with the neighbor, was she able to tell you if she heard the gunshots?
May I check my notes?
Yes.
She advised that she heard gunshots coming from Hill Street. And what was the rest of the question?
Was she able to tell you if she saw any vehicles or, excuse me, let me strike that. Was she able to tell you what she did after she heard the gunshots?
She advised she crawled to the window and observed a black Dodge Charger being pursued up Hill Street at a high rate of speed by a silver Dodge Charger.
And when you got to the scene, did you see a silver Dodge Charger while on the scene?
Yes,
Right. And was that silver Dodge Charger occupied by anyone?
it was.
Who were the individuals inside that silver Dodge Charger?
Would have been Mr. Kelvin Watts, Mr. Jamal Baines, and Mr. Hardiman, whose first name I do not have.
Okay. In your report, does it say Mr. Jermaine Hardiman?
My report, I think my copy of it lists a typo. The name does sound familiar.
Okay. And on scene, did other officers arrive to the scene?
Yes.
Okay. Specifically, did investigators with the gang unit arrive on the scene?
Yes.
Did any of those individuals speak with either Mr. Watts, Mr. Hardiman, or Mr. Baines?
All three of them, yes.
Okay. And without saying what anyone said, to your knowledge, did those individuals speak with those officers and those detectives?
Yes.
Once those individuals spoke with detectives, what, if any, other actions were taken on scene?
After everyone's statements were taken, the investigators obtained a search warrant for the vehicle.
Okay. And was there a search of that vehicle?
Yes.
And what, if anything, was found inside of that vehicle?
In the trunk of the vehicle, there were 3 firearms.
Outside of finding the 3 firearms in that vehicle, were there any shell casings found?
In the vehicle, I don't remember. I could check my report, but I'm not sure if that's in there or not.
That was a bad question. Were there any shell casings found outside of the home?
Yes.
After the search of the car and finding the 3 firearms inside of the trunk of the car, did that conclude your involvement in this case?
I think I was present after they were placed in custody and transported to the mini precinct. I was present while they were being questioned.
At the precinct?
Yes.
All right. After being present while they were questioned at the precinct, did that conclude your involvement in this case?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Questions for this witness? None? Okay. Thank you for your time. You're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Officer Lieutenant A. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm that the testimony you're about to give in the matter not pending before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
You may be seated. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. I'm going to quickly just direct your attention to April 2nd, 2015. Did you have the occasional response of 490 Glen Street?
Yes.
And can you get a jury some basic landmarks of what's at 490 or near 490 Glen Street?
There is an apartment complex located nearby, actually 2 right there in that area.
Okay. And why did you respond to that location?
To a person shot call.
And once you arrived to that location, what did you see?
At that time, there was a male on the ground that had a gunshot wound to his head.
And were you able to identify who that individual was?
Eventually, yes.
And what was the name of that individual?
Do you mind if I refer to my report?
No problem, yes.
Yep. That individual's name was Tyreek Rivers.
All right. And was there anyone else present at the scene, any other males present at the scene when you arrived?
Yes, there were 2 other males.
And where were they when you first arrived on the scene?
They were in the vicinity, like nearby.
Did either of those males direct you to where Mr. Rivers was?
Yes, one of the males did.
And when you went to Mr. Rivers, were you able to see his injury?
Yes.
And once you saw his injury, what, if anything, did you do?
At that time, I most likely requested or ensured that Grady was en route to the location.
And did Grady arrive at the location?
Yes.
And was he transported?
Yes.
After being transported, did crime scene come out to that location?
Yes.
Right. I'm going to show you what's been admitted as 1DDDJ when it comes up. Were you responsible for securing the crime scene?
Yes, I most likely assisted.
And after securing the crime scene and making sure that the individual on the ground was taken to the hospital, would that have concluded your involvement in that case?
Yes.
Course indulgence for one moment. I'm going to show you 2DDJ, 3DDJ, and 4DDJ. Do you recognize that location?
Yes.
And is that the area 490 Glen Street?
Yes.
And would you have been the one responsible for calling a homicide investigator out to the scene?
I might have been. It might have been another officer, depending on who was doing what that day.
All right. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, are there any questions for this witness? All right, thank you for your time. You may go. Call your next witness.